And good evening, viewers. Welcome to Ubuntu channel, and this is Nsaka, your lovely program, which we have every Thursday at 20 hours. Please, we apologize for coming late. This was due to technical issues, which was beyond our control. But nevertheless, we are here. Our program is not suitable for viewers younger than 18. And I would advise that abana bafumepo tulefo kulanda ili ashiri abakulu ni Nsaka pa abakulu ine nshiri neka muno mu studio ni nkwatako abantu abo twala abanabo as we are dealing with the topic of discussion ya lelo ni nkwatako the Ubuntu team as usual, but some people will be able to join us, and we welcome all the people from all parts of the world. If you want to join us through the link in the studio, you're welcome. If you want to contribute through the comments on all our platforms, you're welcome. However, let me introduce the panel, which is with me in the studio. Today, we are so blessed. The evangelist himself is in full swing. Tuleba munana pamenso. Ba evangelist motambulwa.
Ndarumba Himba ndarumba andimenda komana kuba ndiyo muzwa kuno, especially especially the new ones who have not who never had the opportunity to see me, and today they are here with me, so I'm so grateful that they are able to see me. Thank you so much.
You've been missing in action. Honestly, we missed your face, we missed you, we really did. We felt
Thank you so much. I'm enjoying the receptions, very warm. I can feel the heat.
Oh, that's fantastic. that's really nice. Evangelist Shaabula, our topic of discussion this evening at the scandal Yaba Mary Lungu. That's our topic of discussion. We still have CJ who's going to join us. He's still struggling with the internet. I'm sure as soon as he sorts it out, he'll be able to join. Our viewers today, we really don't have a specific. Our topic of discussion this evening, we want to talk about the issue that has been making headlines in Zambia. I'm sure it has reached everyone, everywhere. Mary Lungu. Director, can we have the clip?
Shimusonde chitoyo ya moneka ukalali okowaya ukalete mwa wiba obepe wiba obe nomba wiso nanoko wine nomba mulume obe ukachenjere no tulumendo tomu mabucha ukachenjere no tulumendo tomu mabucha twote mu kusembaika twote mu kupela ike mipusa mailo na mailo kakupela iwati kupeka shigufi ili akarando kafikuwa kukana ukebukishie kifuwa mulila nena mashamuli champa wadya ejo wikate muafifu fianama wikate muisha kafu sasa shiteke wa muli champa tekwesha fukana shia mafuta ya ngumba wikate mwatupela londo ine nalanda kwena epomperere abato bamayande lingi tuku bafye ilingi ni bachi bombe bombe ilingi ni bajena loweka bakaboyi bato bamayanda bengiye wananga talipo asharale toba ine nalanda kwena epomperere uyu mwaume washukila muntu musunge bwino akakusunga we ila afika mukitwe alabefimo ila afika mukitwe alabefimo amafune ampele nyina ukufika mukitwe bena bwacha ala kumbwe na mapalimeba ushikugumona musonda samba alunga makubu chefi asanga potempo paka unta ukupunda wanu kilo wa mupafo aberebeshe 20 kwache atisunga ichishire ni ya ushinamba mwikarapi chikarapati 14 usakile ayamba no kumulansha muli chimbu ya fiakosa ayamba no kupanga no kupanangane wa ukwa iyaya papalipe kantu zizazi wachiochi tafwe bene kakupelo mutia kafwe imipamba ya isalomba kulina musonda abulo munwena ipayo mulume wakwe simusonda bakufatile yemayo kawangene fyo kuchilokula fyo moyo wani nangu wanchitefi munyoka shialo lejula ini okuwantu manomba nikukutushako shala wipesha kwino nechalo haleluya uyo atola no mulendo ukufoya tembo kubuchia tembo amusanga tele ale mune tembo nombangupa inkama Yesu nebo ni momba ni tembo napaka no atotolo ulia waipa ya mwaume na ine ndi mwaume ififi ine fyo winga nchita na ine limbi ukate mwashima bekare pamulandu wa mikate nkafwe nokupa ine kabiri na liupa iwapa kusarafia mano imipamba ya isa nomba kulina musonda amulo munwena ipayo mulume wako simusonda bakufatile yemayo kawangene fyo kuchilokula fyo moyo wani nangu wanchitefi munyoka shialo lejula ini okuwantu manomba nikukutushako shola wipesha bwino nechalo walya iwe chibina wipa enama kangolieko chile chitaba kashikumushita ofishibe chibina wipa enama kangolieko chile chitaba kashikumushita ofishibe nangu wipa yensofu kangoliefye chile chitaba kashikunota ofishibe nangu wipa yensofu kangoliefye chile chitaba kashikunota ofishibe ifya chitana musonda aipayo mulume wakwe ati wapane na tembo tembo amukana tetitana musonda aipayo mulume ati wapane na tembo tembo amusenuka walia 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 wakuvira kumushi ivifine we muntu ikala kutawu ula upira fyako wikere barata ibira walia iwe walia mwana mayo walia ibira ikata ibira chindo chiriya chibondo mene chibondo chiana ala chindo chiriya chibondo mene chibondo chiana ma chindo chiriya chibondo mene chibondo chiana ma chindo chiriya chibondo mene chibondo chiana taruke chisa consuma taruke chisa consuma taruke ko chisa consuma taruke chisa consuma taruke chisa consuma taruke chisa consuma chindo chiriya chibondo mene chibondo chiana ma aha Eria Shirio
Ati chindo chilya chivondo mene, chivondo chanama. Ati mwana vamfunda pakuya. Evangelist. Is the evangelist? Evangelist, are you hearing me? It looks like network today. It's not on our side. Na ikalipa. Abantu balefira okuyingira. Na ishupa. Evangelist, are you able to hear me? Okay, our discussion this evening. Tulelanda pali iliashi. Iliaba Mary Lungu. Balanda tu. Ubushiku bufire nsofu. Neliashi libako lya nsofu. So, everyone, whoever wants to come in, please come in. The director, can we have the clip of that story? Okay, while we are waiting for the director, please, if you want to join us, you can join us through the link that is shared on our platforms. We want to hear what is your view. We want to find out the issue behind this story is our sister who got married for the second time. You know, I'm sure some they've read it, she didn't get married, who almost got married, but did not get married because the other husband came to block the marriage. Abalume bakale bayisala ndatifi awe uyu achiri mukashwandi so teti opwe kukonka nakalimbusha iliashi excuse me ati Mary was married for 20 years. Then she had this boyfriend for 5 years, whom they later decided to get married. Upon them to the civic center that they should get married, the husband came in, and the husband for 20 years, Bali Sanukisa Tawe, Ulumuka Shwandi, Inetu Alupana for 20 years, and I'm not aware that she's getting married. I'm not aware Nangula Fipa no. So area Ashturela and Apo. As Nsaka, we are trying to find out what would cause such a situation. What would cause such a scenario between a couple? Muntu mwakwatilana for 20 years, mukala pamozi, as you are going, she starts dating, eventually they start arranging the marriage without you, the other partner, getting to know. What leads to such situations, and how can we avoid such situations? With me in the studio, there's CJ who've just joined us. CJ, welcome to the program. Okay, it looks like CJ is not yet with us. Evangelist, what is your take on that issue?
First of all, we must understand that marriage has marriage has got what is called the expectations, and marriage has got what is called the pillars. It has got pillars on which the marriage stands. And if those pillars are not strong, a situation of this nature can happen. Now, Himba, I want you to know that what happened to our sister is very common in many parts of this world. Now, there is what is called the polygamy. Poly means many. Gamy means marriage. Many marriages, polygamy. It means this is a man who is going to get to marry more than one wife. And that is called the polygamy. Now, if a lady decides to have more than one husband, it is called the polyandry. It is the same way the poly means many. Andry, it means a woman getting married to more than one man. Now, How does this happen? It is the way you keep your wife, the way you keep your husband, the way you communicate with your wife, the way you communicate with your husband, the way you treat your wife, the way you treat your husband. That way you treat your husband or your wife will cause her to love you, or will cause him to love you, or cause him or her to hate you, to dislike you, to regret that they are married to you. They will not be proud of you because of the manner you have kept her. Number one, there are men who talk too much. Talking too much. What do I mean by talking too much? You want to accuse your wife this and that. You have not done this. You can't do this. You are not like other women. I've got better women than yourself. Look at her. This one is stupid. You are an idiot. You are telling your wife. Your wife is not hearing any word of love and any word of care. Your wife dresses nicely. You don't even appreciate her dressing. Your wife cooks well. You don't even address her. You don't recognize her cooking. She cleans your home nicely. You don't recognize her or recognize her efforts. And when she goes out there, other people will greet her and tell her how beautiful she is, how well she has dressed, or how great she is. Now, those appreciations or those words of love will soften her heart. And in the end, this lady will begin asking herself questions. Is it true that I'm so attractive? Are these people sure, or that man, is he sure that he has looked at me and he has seen that I'm a good person? Because what he's saying is not said by my wife, my husband. It does not come from my wife. So this person will set a trap and probably will greet her 2, 3, 4 times and mention how beautiful she is or how well dressed she is, and show her love, which she does not experience at home. So this is what will cause a woman to stray, to leave her marital home and be, joined to another person. Number 2, it is failing to feed your wife. You can't feed your wife. She can't drink even tea. She can't even eat any good food from your home. So this woman will look for food outside there. The other issue is dressing. There are men who do not dress their wives. The wife has never even put on a pant bought by the husband, no dress bought by the husband, no handbag bought by the husband, no shoes bought by the husband, no lotions that are bought by the husband, and nothing of personal nature for the wife from the husband. Some women, they cannot stand that. So they will look for help elsewhere. And this can cause a wife to stray. The other issue is beating a wife. Others, they beat their wives like they are beating a dog, or they are killing a snake. And yet that's the wife that they expect to sleep with, maybe in the evening or during the day. So when a wife is beaten, that is molested, she's molested, she is abused, she is reduced to nothing, that can cause the wife to leave. and find another person. The other issue is a man failing to satisfy his wife. You cannot satisfy your wife. You perform, but you don't satisfy her. Sometimes she can be tempted and try to test elsewhere to see if what other people talk about can also happen. She can also experience. So failing to satisfy a wife can create a problem. So men, also women, be serious. When you go to the bedroom, you must know that you have a responsibility to do. Your office work is out there. Your homework is out here. But your bedroom should also be taken care of, lest your friend be tempted. The other point is just not having sexual intercourse with the wife, starving your wife or starving your husband can also create problems that can lead your wife or your husband to go astray. So men ought to perform as in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 2 to 5. The Bible says the body of the woman does not belong to her, but it belongs to the husband. And the body of the husband does not belong to him, it belongs to the wife. And the two should perform their bedroom responsibility. They can only rest when they are praying, they are fasting, or maybe when the wife is attending her period, or maybe there is some sickness of some sort. But the Bible says it should not be for too long, lest one of you is tempted. So begin again having sex as husband and wife. That's the Bible. That is God. He understands the body because he created it. So that is one of the reasons of one person leaving the matrimonial home to go for other men or women, not having sex, what you call conjugal rights. The other point is when there's disrespect in the home, the wife is not respected or the husband is not respected in the home. Sometimes people get frustrated. They would want to have some quiet time, some nice time, some peaceful time, and so they'll be forced to leave home to go outside there. So these are some of the issues, and many more that can cause. So let me pause there for further questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Evangelist. At bedroom kulibati aba ni babusa, kulibati ni ba director, atolo ubusa umasira mukangena ku bedroom. At kulibati ni director, kulibati ni na degree ku bedroom. Kuli bevaso. With me in the studio, I've been joined by Caroline. Caroline, welcome to the program. Caroline.
Good evening.
I think she's... Good evening.
Yes, though I'm getting an echo, I can't get you.
Director, Caroline is saying she's getting a feedback. She can't get us clearly. Please see to read that is taken care of. Caroline, we can hear you. Please go ahead with your contribution. Okay, thank you so much. CJ, welcome to the program. Today the network is not... CJ, welcome to the program. Okay, we are told that ku bedroom takwa bati ni ba pastor, ku bedroom takwa bati ni ba director, ku bedroom takwa bati inena alisambirira nga mwaingira ku bedroom ama degree yonse yalashala pansi nama whatever, whether they are diplomas, degrees, doctorate in the bedroom, they don't work. You have a different responsibility, and that's when you wear your title of title, husband. It's a different title there in the bedroom. So if you are the director of finances, when you get to the bedroom, that title, you leave it on the door. You don't get with it. Evangelist. But now, my question, what is bothering me? I really want us to, as you've given us the background, I really want us to touch a little bit over this issue that happened. A little bit. Honestly, let's analyze that issue. We don't have proof. Our viewers, we don't have what we are saying is just opinions here, or assuming what maybe would have transpired in that relationship. When we look at that situation, Evangelist, do you think those people, the marriage was there?
Yes.
They were married?
Yes. Yes. Himba, let me start from the point where you said when you get to the bedroom, there's no director, there's no what and what. Let me start from there.
Yes,
a lot of educated people like yourselves, you have spoiled the test of marriage. And the men of God, those who preach the word of God, they've also misplaced the values of marriage. You know, the bedroom is a sacred place meant for two people, husband and wife, for mainly two reasons. Number one, for procreation. Procreation means having children. Number two, for pleasure. These are the main ones. Then another one, which is not even very important, is just rest. Maybe we can add rest and also a boardroom. That's where you make rules. That's where the Constitution comes from. So when you get in that place, as a husband, whatever title you hold, yes.
Oh, I think I've lost Caroline. I thought she was still here. I wanted to bring her in so that maybe whatever she says, you may want to react. Please, you may go ahead. I'll bring her in when she comes.
Okay. So when you get into the bedroom, you must understand that you are entering the bedroom with the only one title. And that title that you hold is husband. You are not entering as a father. You are not entering as a mulam. You are not entering as a pastor, as a deacon, as a major, as a priest. You are not entering in the bedroom with that title. You are entering in that bedroom as a husband. Now, what does that mean? It means you are entering that bedroom with the one penis, with the two testicles, with your pubic hair. Achinena chako. That's what you are taking into the bedroom. You are taking your body. So all these titles that we hold, they don't hold when you get into the bedroom. If you are a wife, you are a bank manager, you are a teacher, a nurse, a soldier, a pastor woman, whatever it is, a doctor's worker, whatever title you have, which is not related to the bedroom, it falls off. So you are entering as a wife. And as a wife, you must attend to the dictates of a wife and the expectations of a wife towards the husband. So this idea where we say, nalema, every time ulema, monga unyamula masaka ya cement. every time nalema munga unyamula masaka aunga. This can be a source of problems where your wife will leave you, where your husband will leave you. Of course, we do understand that there are times when you can get tired, but the husband or your wife will understand if it is genuine. But if you go there with the excuses, that will not be right. So that is about the bedroom. Let's respect the institution of marriage. And the question, Himba, which you asked me, what was the question?
I requested that we talk a little bit about that situation. I was trying to find out where do you think at the point for that couple for that lady to reach to a point to marry another man?
Yes. That couple, they've been together. She was married. She has been married to that gentleman for 20 years. Out of 20 years, we expect to have at least 10 children on the average. 10 children. And out of that, we expect to have 7 grandchildren. And then the first two born, the firstborn and the second grandchild must have also children. Meaning that this is a long, long period that they've been together. Now, part number 2, this lady, the gentleman that married, that decided to marry her, said they have been together as boyfriend and girlfriend for 5 years. 5 years. In other words, she has been married to 2 men when she was 15 years with the first husband. So the 16th year to the 20th year where she is now, she has been married to 2 husbands. Polyandry. 2 husbands. Now, that gentleman, according to his statement, he says that he has been supporting her by paying rentals for the house. Now, the question is, which house? Is it the house of this gentleman where they've lived for 20 years? The answer is no. It means that is a house where they've been meeting from. Apart from the marital home, it is an extra house where they've been meeting from. And probably, we don't have facts here. I want to put a disclaimer. We don't have facts here.
These are opinions.
Yes, probably in that house, there were relatives of the wife, of this lady, who are taking care of that house. Because the house is still there. They're taking care of that house.
But what about it's the same house they've been living with the husband? Because Evangelist, the situation I saw in that video is that this husband who's been married for 20 years, he came, n'abafuala bwino nakasuuti as if nabe nabale amukupafiria, n'abafuala n'abapolishana ensapato. Then this husband who was about to get married, he looked like he was comfortable with the situation. He didn't look surprised. He didn't even show some disappointments like, Iwe, waninama, how can you lead me into this direction? There was it's like these 3, they knew each other, that this system, it was around. It's like something which they were all aware of. Because definitely the second husband would have been upset that he was betrayed if he didn't know about that. But he was calm with the situation, even being upset with the wife, the wife to be,
There I cannot say much because I have very little information. All I can say is that, he knew that the wife was well dressed and the gentleman was well dressed. He could not go there in rags. He was going to look, like a question mark, a disappointment, a sketch. So he had to knit himself, make himself better, so that he does not make a serious, difference between the person who is wedding and himself. Suppose he went there in an overall. If he went there in an overall, in a jeans, people would have said, that's why anafuna uja wa suit. But he had to make up, to put up, a stage, bino. So there, I don't know Himba. All I can say is that he did well to dress well. I would have done the same. I would dress well, put on my best so that the wife can also look at me and look at this chap who wants to grab my wife. So that, maybe in the process, she can think of me again.
Okay, before we go to Keleva, who've joined us in the studio, Evangelist, you've already been beaten. So now you mean this marriage procession was being planned, prepared. No one from the lady's family would have even gone to say, if he fresh ticker. So how can the whole family have nothing to do with it? How?
Himba, this is one proof that the gentleman is irresponsible. How can your wife live with another man for 5 years? You don't know what's happening.
Yes.
And then from there, my kitchen party, you still don't know.
And
it's an indication that the gentleman is not concerned. The gentleman is not responsible. The gentleman is not caring. The gentleman is not available. Meaning that the wife does things on her own and he does things on his own. Why is it that there's nobody who actually could sneak out and tell him to say, this is what your wife is doing? Until the last day, for them to pen the signature on the certificate, that's when you show up. It is an indication that the gentleman is irresponsible. And this is a wake-up call to all men, including me. To all men. Yes. We must be responsible. Things cannot be happening. Because if we are to find out Himba, how many children he has, out of those 5 years, maybe two of those children are for this man. If his firing is better, if it is good, maybe bana babiri ni bamunyamata aba abana abavufunika ati kubawonesa chabe kuchiyeka mpuno zao zili bwanji, manso wao ali bwanji ni akulu bwanji, maybe bachita resemble that number 2. So the issue here is that, to me, the man is irresponsible. Because all these things, there are too many things, Himba, which happened without the man knowing.
Yes.
Why?
And again, why did he have to wait until it got to the civic center? Because even the moment, if I mean, when Vela go to Mangwing, he would have sorted out this matter even without going to civic center. Anyway, we'll come to that, Evangelist. Thank you so much.
Just there, Himba, just there. Even neighbors could not tell him. He's a bad neighbor.
Exactly.
Even neighbors, they could not whisper. He's a bad neighbor.
Even the friends to his wife.
So, which means Nakuchechi Sayenda is a bad Christian. Even the church members, they can't tell what kind of women. So this man must be a rose. He must be a rose. That's how roses are.
Let's find out to Evangelist, because I've been told, I'm reliably informed that he's a first cousin to Wamukelevai. Wamukelevai, welcome to the program.
That's what I said.
Hello, good evening. Good evening. Good to see you, Evangelist. He's Lozy. Lozies don't behave like that. As we stick to one partner for life.
What is your position on this issue?
No, I saw the video. I think whatever goes on in Zambia, we are participating. We know what is going on back home. Well, looking at that issue, yes, it was good that somebody came in and interjected the marriage that was about to be, it was a crime actually that was about to be committed, which is bigamy. Fortunately, that was, it was actually cut off. Unfortunately, I don't know whether his intention, the gentleman, the so-called husband of 20 years, managed to get his wife back home after that drama. In
No, he didn't.
In that
He
issue,
didn't.
I feel that
Interjection.
yes,
Interjection of he didn't. The wife didn't go with him, and the wife didn't sleep there.
exactly.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, when the people at the civic center solemnize a marriage, they do have that question if there are any impediments or if there's anybody that has that has an objection. So it is already in black and white. And yes, that happened. Somebody came forward. Now let's go back to the man's story. The man's story claims that his wife of 20 years has been living with him, and she was also having a relationship with another man of 5 years. And that gentleman was about to marry her, and on that fateful day. Well, when you look at the whole thing, it's like you are saying to say the gentleman was somehow irresponsible. The gentleman, I believe these are the men that we have been talking about that run away from their women and go and have other relationships. And when they hear that, oh, their wives or their women have moved on, and they want to now get married with another, because according to in most of traditional culture, when a man decides to go outside married and stay away for years without meeting your wife or without consummating your marriage for, I believe, for 5 years or plus, that could constitute that this marriage has broken down irretrievably, isn't it? And under customary law, any reason is a ground to divorce. Olokununka chemu mapa chat olsana gele mushe sisi. It's a ground to divorce. And that could have precipitated to them being separated. And according to the woman, in her mind, that man was no longer her husband and she was moving on. She found herself a boyfriend and she was moving on. Unfortunately, these are the things that we tell people to say. When you have a marriage certificate, please be careful. Make sure that you go to court and nullify it. If at all it is valid, if you have a marriage, you don't just run away and stay and say the chikwatikwasila. You have to go kumakoti maichita cancel eja marriage certificate. That's when mungaende kukwatira mundu winango. But because this issue has stayed for a long time, Banankala are away from each other for so many years. So in her mind, she thought the marriage was done. She was moving on. But the husband felt jealous and came back to claim. If you had to follow that case properly, you will find that those two, they never lived together. They've been on separation, even though a man has been claiming that she is still legally, on paper, married. But when it comes to acting Mavikwati, there was no marriage between those two. So he cornered her using the marriage certificate, and he just dramatized the whole thing. Unfortunately, it won't yield him any good result, because the result will be the same. He will still be alone. she won't go back. You can't force her to go back, even though she's married to him by paper. She will go on and continue. She can even cohabit with that man, the so-called boyfriend of 5 years. She can continue cohabiting with him for another 10 years if she wants. And it's up to the same man now to go to court. And since their marriage was contracted under civil, we don't know whether it was civil or customary, then that man should go to court to go and petition and use that my wife found herself another man or she committed adultery, and use it as a ground to divorce so that she can be free. Or the wife can go to court and petition as well, and she will be free. There is no issue there. People are just dramatizing the whole thing. But what I can say is that chikwati paja chinasira kudala vina salako chabe ni pa mapepa. So let them just go and finalize mapepa.
Actually, Bomukeleba, there I agree with you. I also think Wajabantu, that was just marriage of inconvenience. Me, I looked at it from two angles. I looked at one, probably they've been living together. There are men in life. Wakati Munkala naye, he doesn't even care what you're doing, what you eat, how you even, I'm even convinced that even Nyumbebe Zonkala, Jeba Kamba, Evangelist, there I differ with you. Personally, I feel that this is my opinion. It's not a fact. This is just the way I also analyze the situation. My thinking is, actually, Nyumbeba Kamba that when Zolipila Marentos, it should be even the house, even Zonkala Munaba, many so-called husband. The husband, to me, is a kind of a man, probably, Bajabakuti, au kache to whom it may concern, the Indashta Vintuvake, Mukaza Lipila Marentos, Veba Navakudia, he doesn't even know. Where the wife has been, he doesn't know. My thinking for him to come kuchan kuja, anabula ona chat, and he may even have known about this relationship. That's my thinking. He knows about this relationship. He's like, chat, okay. Baka kwatilana nzaka bakonga zaka mkwatila uja. As long as I'm alive, he's a kind of a man who thinks a woman is an object or a woman is a person to hold her. I can treat a woman the way I want. So in his mind, he was even actually like, if I can't have her, no one will have her, you know. But basically, my thinking, as Bom Keleba has said, whether he did that woman, I don't think she will go back to him and say, Tien Tupani. Or those people, he may not even divorce. Because as I saw the situation, it's like the current husband, he's okay and they are moving together with this wife to be. For me, I just thought that this man was just trying to punish this woman. But women, we can also avoid such situations. If you are not happy in a marriage, for me, there's no need to wait to find yourself in such a situation. Use the right procedures. Talk to the elders. Talk to the people who can help. Try to use all the alternatives around until when you see Tivakanga, that's when you go and divorce this person legally, or in traditional marriage, divorce, then you move on with your life. Because men, there are men who believe that a woman is an object. I have control over a woman. So literally, bakazi, ingawaona chati chikwatichipanga sense is just a marriage of inconvenience. For me, if I think for me, I don't support that. Vana bazaka kula one day, what will happen with you? Oh, if you are living in that marriage, let it be a marriage of purpose, and you should live for yourself and for your own benefit. I am my second options. But every day, and these children are witnessing you being beaten like a punching bag. At the end of the day, you are growing. The children are watching. They are also becoming abusers. They are learning to be abusers. If anything, these children are growing to be bitter children. The same children over Maikalila. So I think women, just leave it. Let this man go and marry a woman whom he's going to get along with, and you move on. Then vaenda vafika ku counsel. Evangelist, over to you.
Yes, Himba, this marriage, actually, to me, it happened so that the people in this country, Zambia and beyond the borders of Zambia, should learn about so many things concerning, marriage. First of all, as we said, this man is just irresponsible. I totally agree with you. Sometimes this gentleman was, even when he was eating the shima, the chicken, the meat, whatever the chihuahua that he was eating, he knew very well or too well that it was not him who bought that meat, that chicken, that fish. He knew. So he was eating food bought by his friend. And even when he sat there, this gentleman was not even violent. Yachi Christo. At in sitting, I can't lay my hands on him because it is just as good as Nazime and Neka. Chifukwa, the two shall be one. No, that is wrong quotation. It was misapplied because he did not perform a Christian marriage. Because in a Christian marriage, we expect a husband to be more loving, more romantic, more caring, more respectful, but not in this case. Now, the mistake of the wife is this. The mistake of the wife is this. When she saw that she was being abused, there are problems of that nature. The lady, then she decided not to move, to move on. She should have, first of all, dissolved the marriage by going to court and have this marriage dissolved, so that she can be free to contract a new marriage, so that she can be free to live with a new husband without having to look over the shoulders as to who was doing this and that. That is the mistake that she made. So for those that want to leave, please make sure that you don't create a problem for yourself. Because by just deciding to take shortcut, you are actually creating a problem for yourself, and you will not be happy, and you will not be settled in your marriage, because somebody will be disturbing you. Somebody will follow you and embarrass you, such as this marriage. So this lady should have terminated this marriage by going to court and have it, nullified. So that way, life was going to be better. And this is a lesson to all of us, that we must learn to do things correctly rather than embarrass ourselves. Thank you. Himba, I'm done.
You are muted.
Thank you so much, Evangelist. And I hope people are learning, and we are actually even looking into our marriages, how we are living with our partners and where we are failing. I only hope we are learning and working hard to improve those areas. Womkelebai, over to you.
Me, in my opinion, because we are using opinion word, knowing Zambian men or African men, since I'm an African, I can tell that there's no man that could leave a wife, even give the wife space to go and for years, and the wife could even go and have another man whilst him watching or looking, unless these two had had it enough and they chose to go separate ways, and then the man went and started his own life with another person, and the woman either remained in the house or went as well and started her own life, and she was okay with that, without necessarily resolving the issue. If you remember very well, there was a case, I think it is in a public domain. This is not going to be a defamatory, whatever. It was a public domain of Chirufya Tayali, where he divorced where he divorced his first wife. And the case was in court. And during that matter, the case has been moving on up and down, and Chirufya and the wife were not living together. Chirufya moved on, and I believe also the wife moved on. And if you remember very well, there was a time where Chirufya was arrested for bigamy because of there was a issue to do with the marriage certificate that was not nullified, because the judgment to dissolve that marriage was never entered. So meaning the marriage was still valid. So if Chirufya went ahead and married the other woman, then that marriage becomes a crime. It's bigamy, and you can go to jail under our laws in Zambia. So in this case, this, I believe, Lungu, what is her name? Charity, Mary Lungu, had also the same situation, similar situation, where she moved on. He had moved on too. But you know how jealous us men are, because we think we are in control. And that's why you find that this man came at the last minute. He even waited. He had the audacity to wait until the day. I believe he knew even all the details. Maybe he was even invited. Maybe he was even given an invitation later to come and attend the wedding. And then he dropped the bomb to say, actually, we are not yet divorced. This is my wife of 20 years. And there's no way the master of ceremony or at the civic center, the one solemnizing their marriage, would go ahead when there's that interjection. So he did what he did. Unfortunately, I don't think he was even going to be. It's only up to the lady if she wants to sue him for inconveniences, even when they know, because if he went ahead willfully just to go and disturb that marriage session, then the woman may have a cause of action against him to say, look, you used this even after we had agreed, you and me, against you used this against me, and therefore look at what I've suffered. If they prepared a lot of wedding food and money spent, she can simply take a legal action against that man to say, yeah, I want you to compensate for the things, for having inconvenienced us, because you did this willfully. You had the malice. Your intention was to simply tarnish my image. So that could be one way I would think that man wanted to just punish the woman, that even though he knew that he cannot have her back, but he did it anyways, because the result will be the same. Like I said earlier, he will go home alone and she will go back to her boyfriend or her fiance, her husband to be. And she can wait for 20 years as well, or she can divorce him and marry that other man.
Thank you so much, Bom Kelebai. CJ, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Himba. Good evening, Evangelist. Good evening, Bom Kelebai. Good evening, viewers.
Thank you.
Before Evangelist comes on, CJ, what is your position on this issue?
Quite an interesting issue. It's the husband shows up at the last minute just to claim But sometimes you ask, so what is the final plan? What does he hope to achieve at the end of this whole exercise? Because according to the story we have on social media, they say they've been married for 20, I don't know if it's 20 years. Then the wife left in the morning and said she was going for, whether it's to the market or she's going for business, only to find out later on that she's getting married. And when he's explaining, he says what he doesn't like is that the wife gets home at whatever time, and he doesn't like that behavior. So it's something that he has been aware, that he is aware, something that has been going on, because for a wife to be coming late and you do not get to the bottom to resolve it so that there's harmony in the house, it means this marriage, yeah, like everybody has said, it's not there. It's been on rocks for a long time. All they just needed to do is just to say, mwana, go your way, nine, I go my way, tiambesa bera ifinangu. Then vaingo sungana novutana when there's nothing there. I would say that is my view for now.
Thank you so much, CJ. Evangelist, you've heard what?
Well, yes. Most of these opinions that we are giving, I think they can turn into facts, because most of these things they can be proved by non-committal, by the gentleman. He's too quiet. The husband is too quiet. There's no indication that he is a husband, apart from claiming to be the husband. The other issue here which we should look at is that gentleman. We have not heard from family members, his members, really indicating that what happened, they are not happy with it. No, not at all. It's quiet. Whatever they said, it was they just showed that it was they were surprised with the activities of the wife and this gentleman. So this gentleman literally, he has no support from anybody, not even from himself, because he has not even said anything that would support him, apart from a claim. It's like somebody who is claiming for his 20% from NAPSA. It's just a claim that no, I've been married to this lady for 20 years. He says I'm is a metal fabricator. He didn't say that he gives money to the wife. He talked about his trade. What about his trade, and the marriage? There's no correlation. He didn't say that he supports the wife. No. He didn't say that you mkazi kumugona nimugona bwino akuta na ukuta. Sana kambe vonse va samugona. Manje afuna timkazi azichana. That, just like what everyone has said, that marriage has broken down irretrievably. It will not be there, because the information which is there is that the lady did not even go back to the gentleman's home, to her marital home. She didn't go back. She went where she went and slept where she slept, and the husband slept alone. How can you, you gentlemen, how can you, mukazi wako nuyo, then from there wamusia, wabwele kunyumba, wazamuleta bandani, ni bandani za kuletea. Kulipe. So he's just proving that this guy is irresponsible. So in a what I can say that uyu mukazi aende chabe, akapeze chipati. In fact, from other write-ups again, is somewhere, I know you young men, you are Mafansoni Ukamba. At this new gentleman uyu, even muliro, amunyenga maningi mukazi kumunyenga over maningi. So that is what the lady was saying. Akuta, ukutila. That's what is there. The other gentleman, awaya, manja peza muntu wamena muyenge. Do you think azaenda ku muntu wamena sobera? No, that's not it. So you young men, CJ, Musazisobera, when you go there, it's my games. It's not a game. Go there and perform.
Making love and teaching someone a lesson, they are two different things. When you have a woman at home, that's the mistake we make. We don't go to teach our women a lesson so that she does not go and find another man. No. Make love, meaning you have to satisfy each other like you have put it earlier. You have to satisfy each other sexually. That your partner, she has reached the climax and attain whatever the orgasms. That way, it is okay. And that's why you need to communicate, because you cannot go and start communicating with your friends about sexual satisfaction in marriage. Do not teach. The mistake we make as men mumanyumba. Tifuna tipunzise vasikana ma lessons when we are making love. I want to teach you, to show you that I'm a real man and I'm going to do it this way, harder. Mwapuma. It's not okay.
Thank you, Kelevai.
She will fake and she will start faking. No.
Let us welcome Uncle Jericho. Uncle Jericho, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Good evening. Thanks. How are you? And how is everybody? It's a very hot topic, and I want to listen to the views. I don't want to comment right yet. I want to listen to what we are talking about. If somebody can give me the background of that lady we're talking about, so that I can get the picture. Otherwise, I think it's a hot topic. There are a lot of people listening.
Okay, at this point, let me just ask the director to play that clip, and then after the clip, we're going to look at the messages and then continue with the discussion. Director, please give us the clip.
A certificate to formalize a marriage. A certificate to formalize a marriage, but before it could be signed, all went sour. Seconds before this couple could be pronounced husband and wife, the woman's husband of 20 years showed up.
It's only God who knows exactly, because as far as I know, I cannot raise my hand over my wife, whom I know that it's part of my body. Me, I only hate behavior. She can leave home, going to where she has gone. She will come, maybe it's 20 hours, 21 hours. You know, I'm a man. I'm up, and she's lying to say she's the one who was looking for something. In my phone, there is a work which I'm doing metal fabrication, because that's the source of income which I have.
However, the would-be husband also claims that he has been in a relationship with the woman for 5 years. He has an explanation of what he has called year-old relationship with the woman.
nawe madezi yonse yamere tuenze mukara wose ninzo muri pirira rent.
For how long?
Maybe 5 years. So. Yeah, 5 years.
Meanwhile, family members from the woman's side and the man who would have been the groom speak to what transpired.
Anabwera anaonana na mkazi wangu ndiye bazibana namuuliza ine nifuna kwenda kukwatira but nifuna munisungire bana banga for 2 days.
Panabwera kugamba ati manje vamene twenze kufuna guchita vakwana, so nipase ndalama niende nisakire vamene nzagula then tuzakwatirana.
The marriage registrar has cancelled what would have been a consummation of marriage. And Nsaka City Council Public Relations Manager, Chola Mwamba, has urged citizens to abide by the law.
Before you engage yourself in another marriage, you have to clear the past. So it is the learning point for members of the public, and as a local authority, we are urging those that wish to get married to come with genuine intentions.
Fortune Malata, ZNBC News, Nsaka.
There we have it. What happened? So before you come in, Director, please just give us the comments so that we can read some of them, and then we'll be taking responses. Okay, so Caroline says, looking at the story of Mary Lungu, at one point this marriage could have ended a long time. They were just living together for sake of living. A responsible man should know or should have a clue of what's going on in his wife's life. For relationship and marriages to work today, both the man and I think this should be both the man and wife have to put in the time, effort, sacrifice to make it work. It cannot be one-sided. It has to be mutual. There's to be mutual love, mutual friendship, mutual care, mutual concern, mutual consideration, mutual respect, mutual understanding, support, giving, communication, forgiveness, willingness to resolve conflict, adding value to each other, real companionship, and real compatibility. My advice. So that was Caroline. Thank you very much, Caroline. I think I can allow Uncle Jericho. I'm sure you've seen the clip. I don't know if you're able to come in at this point.
Well, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, loud and clear.
Great. It's a very sad story and very disheartening for our society, especially in a country, damn Christian nation. It's very unfortunate that in these times you have people that are living a double life, because for me that's a double life. Somebody should have been very open. If there is an issue, you talk about it. If you are going through situations, if you can't resolve the two of you, then you should be able to involve other people to help you. And believing that if they were people that attended church or people that are Christians, they should have involved the pastor to say, we are going through a situation, this is what I'm going. How can you help us? But maybe without knowledge, because we really do not have the story. 20 years is a long time for somebody to just stand up and go. Somebody who has been there for 20 years should have a good reason, you know, for doing whatever they want to do. It means they have thought through this particular process. They have weighed the pros and cons. They have consulted with a circle of their friends, and they have eventually gotten there. But I think the problem that I see personally was the fact that she was not open to the husband. She should have sat down to say, my friend, this is not working. Just be open. This is not working. So let's part. Whatever reasons that she had for not for wanting to get a second, she didn't want to let go of the old one. She wanted to have this. I don't know how she was going to play the game to say this is what is going to happen. You know, that's what is going on in my mind. How was she going to do it? There is another story that I'd heard about a woman somewhere in the Copper Belt who was also married in Northwestern Province. You know, I read somewhere in the newspaper. So it means women are doing this a lot more times now. This, you know, unfortunately, this one was caught red-handed. You know, in the not in the act, but in the process of being married to another man.
In the act. Yeah, sorry for interrupting you. I would like to welcome Mr. Abia as well as John Nyemba. Good evening. Welcome, Mr. Abia Nyarenda and Mr. John Nyemba. Good evening. Welcome to the program.
Good evening. Good evening, CJ. Good evening, Mr. Nyarenda. Is it Mr. Nyemba or Nyarenda? Okay.
Nyemba.
Okay. Washaura. How are you? Mr. Jericho, how are you?
I'm fine,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So thank you very much. Uncle Jericho, please, if you can summarize a bit so that from you, I'm going to allow Mr. John Nyemba to make his submission, then followed by Mr. Abia. Please go ahead, Uncle Jericho.
Okay, so I think the only wrong thing that I see is that she was not open, which means she still wanted to enjoy the benefits of the other husband, the first husband. You know, that is the wrong part. She should have let go somewhere, and then yes, she should have let go and then decided, sit on a table, agree, and say, no, this is where this far we have come, and this far we end. So let's part ways. She didn't want to do that. Obviously, if she wanted to, she would not have just sneaked out. You know, so that is the wrong thing that I see in that particular situation, and it should not have been that way. Otherwise, nobody would have been talking about. People have divorced, have gone their own ways, and people haven't talked. Things didn't work, so we go. But for somebody to want to be married to another man when she's married to another, that is quite something. You know, what are these ladies up to? I end there for now.
Mr. John Nyemba, please make your submission.
Good evening, Mr. Jericho. Good evening, Evangelist and the presenter.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. Thank you.
All right. I think all in all, for me, I take it that the devil is at play here. The more he attacks the families, the more even our country also goes down. Why am I saying so? He knows to say if he attacks the family, then he's attacking everyone. So for me, I would still urge each one of us who's here to pray more for the families. I think the devil is taking full control of the families. Hence, we are losing it somewhere as families. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nyemba. Abia, your contribution on this issue.
Thank you so much. Many points has already been taken. All what I was wondering is this woman, Mary Lungu, her family didn't help her. Well, there's no way you can get two salam to two people without consulting how the first marriage is going on. And you even have the courage to go on and charge that man, say, no, this is the charge for Loyola. While the other marriage is still going on. What was at stake here is that the family members of her didn't help her, because she could have sat down with her to say, okay, yeah, is your husband aware of what we are going to do right now? Is your husband or your former husband? Then they have to what? To resolve that issue. You want to take our sister or our young our niece or our whatever it is to that family members. This woman was married before, and we are aware that the family or the marriage is still going on. So let us find out if the first marriage fell apart, then we are going to allow you to have our sister or our niece. But instead, they went ahead and say, okay, we want to get our sister, bring this much as a lobola. I think that part is also interesting to know. We family members, we shouldn't like much money just because we need to help our sister. No. In marriages, yes, there is a problems that here and there. We are humans, we can have a problem. But the good way to end those problems is by discussing, bringing those both parties and discuss the issue, then settle them out. Instead, now you are in a civic center to get a second marriage certificate. If there was the first one, then this one is the second marriage certificate. We're about to sign, and then there's someone is coming to show up, say, no, this shouldn't be go ahead. He's still my property. What a fun. This is a big lesson to all of us. Yeah. We shouldn't lash into another action while the other action is still alive. No, that was not a proper way. So her family members should have helped her. Let's resolve this issue before you go to this. Yes, you have a misunderstanding, but clear misunderstanding, then you resolve. Ngati chikwati cha first chezina na mchato, marriage certificate, it was supposed to be cancelled. But if marriage certificate for this first marriage was not there, yes, it's a marriage in moral grounds, but it is not supported by the court of law. So I think it was supposed to be treated like as a friendship. But in the laws of Zambia there's no friendship that can go on with children for 20 years. It's a big one, 2 decades. It's very far. So I think that was a problem. Her family didn't help her. That's my point. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abia. Yeah, Yonkanya Lovola, it's also an issue that would need to be investigated, since we are just assuming. But civic center, Lovola swama faka konzer. Malinka ma witness yariko. Yeah. So
and those witnesses, what are they witnessing for?
Yes,
so they are witnessing the payment of that man. So they are witnessing the payment of that man to say they can marry these two, they can marry each other. This person finish up with the lobola. So those two witnesses, it's their job to witness that this man paid the full lobola. So Lobola was also the case there.
Okay, so time is not with us. I would like us to make our concluding remarks. I'll start with Vom Kelebai. Vom Kelebai, your conclusion, and I hope you'll be able to do that within 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes.
Twalumbaga Patrick. Well, this drama of this Mary Lungu will stay with us for a long time in Zambia. We'll talk about it, but if we were Zambian, Tolalava, we'll talk about it today, and tomorrow I believe we will carry on with our lives. But the message there is to tell Zambians that when in Zambia we have 2 to 3 types of marriages, but what's come out most is 2. Is a statutory marriage. The civil marriage, where you go to the civic center and append your signatures, and then there is customary marriage, where you go to the local court. Sometimes you don't even go to the local court. You just, by way of payment of lobola, where families come together and sit down and agree and give away and chikwati mamanga kwasira. So those are marriages. They constitute marriages. So in this issue, Yaba Mary Lungu, I think there's a need to investigate, because what we are given apparently is just the story that will sell, that will produce so many likes to the Zambian people, and we don't know the facts, the real facts, and on the ground. What we are doing, we are making assumptions, assuming. So as Zambians, I know Twalitemwasa no concluder, but that's what keeps us moving. So we can hope that one day those couples come on air and tell us really the real issue behind the 20 years, and the real issue behind the 5 years, and the real issue behind her deciding to marry the 5 years and dump the 20-year man on social media.
Thank you very much, Vom Kelebai. Uncle Jericho, your conclusion in 2 minutes.
I want to echo the words of the public relations officer at the local authority, who said, let people be aware that be sincere. You know, you can't go ahead and do something when something is already in place. And maybe there's also a situation of mistrust here, because why would this particular lady not want to sit down at the table and talk? Whatever reasons that she was giving, that she was marrying this particular person, are washed down by the fact that she did not break from the other man. She still wanted that. So let her come out in the open and say, look here, you and I don't see things eye to eye anymore, and I don't think I can continue with you, and I think our road ends here. That done in the court of law again, and then she can walk in and marry the man that she wanted. Instead of waikata nuku, wachato, kwa waswala, you can't do. Just one is enough. All right, I think that is what I would say for now. Ladies, please, if you feel I want to go and make things proper. In Tonga we say, "Kos waga kubota, ankoyaga kubota." All right, where you come from, let it be good. So must it be where you are going, because you might not find it good there. You also be able to come back and say, this is my situation, I have come, you know. But if she just left like that, oh my goodness, when she comes, it will be knives and whatever. At least now she's been, I don't know how they are now. All right, those are my concluding remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. John Nyemba. In a minute or two, your concluding remarks.
Hello, are you able to get me?
Yes.
Yes, you can go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. My network is not very much clear. That's why I actually joined very late. However, the madam was 100% wrong. I think she just needs to put herself in order and see how best she can talk to her husband. I feel the first marriage is the one that you get married to your first husband, regardless of what. Differences are there, and the differences are there for two people to sit down and iron them out. I think that would be my submission. The only thing that she needs to do, get back and apologize to her husband and see how you can work out things. There's nothing that is impossible with God, and leave everything in the hands of God. And then God will come through for you and everything will be able to work again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nyemba. Mr. Abia, in a minute or two, your concluding remarks.
All right, thank you so much. Mwevaume ukutontonkanya vakazi vatava vambona njala ukutontonkanya.
Yeah.
If umwaume alentontonkanya umwana kashi okay uyu mkazi semesana tavi. So it's a lesson to us men. Let's work hard. Let's provide for our family. You know, a wife only needs time for us. Provide for the family. Be a responsible father. Responsible father. Let's not forget that song. Yeah. It's a lesson to us that we need to be responsible at all times. And women also, they'll be responsible because they'll follow our what? Our deed. So let's not forget that it's us men who went to this woman and asked hand in marriage to her. Then we brought that woman at home. Then we shouldn't forget her or forsake her when she's living with us. No, let's get her seriously. We were providing when we were in a relationship. You know, the other man claimed that he was even paying rentals for 5 years. Do you think that was easy? Which house was he paying for if he was still living with the man, the husband? So us men, let's provide for the family. Our wives will not run away from us. Then the other thing is, if things are not going on in our family, let's follow the right procedure of ending our marriage. Then we move on. Because if marriage cannot work out, we know that this cannot work out. Let's resolve it and end there. So that's why Mukereva says, anyway, let's not let me go to Mukereva. I can start another issue. So the lesson is just two. He said, Ukutuntunkanya, be responsible. Then
thank you.
Men, our wives will be settled at home. Then if we are giving respect and provide for the family, the wife will be with us. Men, women, let's follow a light procedure to end our marriages. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abia. Evangelist, you are wrapping up this topic. So if you can do it within 5 minutes, that would be great. Over to you.
Thank you so much. The story of Mary Lungu and Mr. Mumba, the husband, is a lesson to us that are living today. Number one, we should be responsible, both sides. I'm sure you heard what the woman was saying. She was saying, you are not responsible, telling the husband, I'm responsible, I look for food, I do A, B, C, D. We should be responsible. Even if the husband is not responsible, does that give her the authority to get married to another person? The answer is no. If she wants to move on, she should first of all clear her marriage and then get married to the other person. I want to stress here, young people, I want you to listen. It still does not help you by clearing your marriage so that you can get married to the person that you want. Not at all. It is that person that you think you want to get married to will show love now that you are not in his house or she's not in your house. Because you only meet maybe an hour or 2 hours and you don't know his inside, his true character, you don't know. So the devil that you know, if your husband is a devil, continue harnessing that love that you have for that devil. If you have got a monster woman, continue holding on to that monster woman, because you are going to bring in a woman who is going to throw hot water on you or cooking oil. So divorce has never been an answer. Throughout all generations, divorce is not an answer. Number two, this lady, to me, and the family, her family, it shows that, maybe the family is tired of this gentleman. How is it that they allowed him to get married without paying lobola? So to me, it means that these people, you cannot give in to somebody to marry without lobola. It means they received double lobola from 2 men. They should also be charged, be given some punishment of some kind, because they are breaking the marriage of these 2 people. How do they go to civic center knowing that this person is married and they've received the lobola? How?
Lobola. Receiving money under false pretense.
Yes. So the issue here is that we are dealing with a family which is not straightforward. Ladies and gentlemen, marriage is not for boys. Marriage is not for boys. It is for men. It is not for girls. It's for real women. Women that matter, women that understand what they want. So what we have learned here, it is an embarrassment. So let us do the opposite so that we can live longer with our children, with our husbands, with our wives. May God bless us as we decide to take a better route that will bring happiness and joy in our marriages so that our homes can be stable. Because right now, it is the devil that is attacking families. So let's not be caught up in this cobweb of the devil. God bless us. Thank you so much. Amen.
Thank you very much, Evangelist. A big thank you to everyone who has been a part of tonight's broadcast. Vom Kelevai, Mr. Nyemba, Mr. Abia, Caroline, Himba, and all of you, our viewers. There you have it. Take good care of your marriages. Be your partner's friend. Not at mukala panyumba simzivana simgurizana. Please, viewers, if you're having problems in your marriage, seek help. Seek help so that your marriage can be worked on and you can begin to live happily as a husband and wife. Marriage is supposed to be enjoyed. If you need counseling, Evangelist Shaabula is available and he can be reached on 0977 527 407. I'll repeat that number, 0977 527 407. That is Evangelist Shaabula's line. You can call him, he will be able to attend to you. Please make sure you follow our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitter, so that you'll be able to get notifications whenever we are live or whenever we post something on any of these platforms. From me and everyone who's been part of this program, want to say thank you very much. Make a date and make sure you join us next week for another exciting episode of Nsaka. From me and our director, who's been Emmanuel Kunika, I want to say thank you and good night.